Vroktal clamped his gauntleted fist around the human's upper arm and hauled Jonah Rook into the hangar. The prisoner's boots scraped against the deck plating, but he offered no resistance. Chains rattled from the human's wrists, secured behind his back. Vrok shoved Jonah toward the central kneeling post. The structure hummed as magnetic locks engaged, pinning the human's knees and shins in place. Jonah settled without a grunt, his broad shoulders level, gaze fixed ahead. Troops lined the hangar's edges. 24 enforcers stood at attention, rifles slung, but eyes sharp. Hollow screens flickered to life overhead, broadcasting the event ship-wide. Captain Severin Cade strode forward, his carapace gleaming under the harsh lights. He carried the ceremonial blade in a velvet sheath, edge honed to monomolecular sharpness, handle etched with the fleet's kill tallies. Cade thrust it toward Vrok hilt first. "Execute the symbol," Kadi barked. "Let every soul aboard witness the end of human defiance." Vrok accepted the blade, its weight balanced perfectly in his grip, forged for a clean severing strike. He drew it free with a whisper of steel on leather. Protocol demanded precision. One swing, neck severed, head displayed. Jonah knelt motionless. No pleas. No struggles. Just that steady stare. Vrok raised the blade high. Muscles coiled. He swung down in a flawless arc, aiming for the gap between cervical vertebrae 3 and 4. The blade struck skin and stopped cold. Jonah's hands, freed somehow from the chains, snapped up. Bare palms clamped the edge mid-descent. Blood welled instantly, dark red against pale flesh. The human held firm. No tremor. No flinch. Vrok yanked back with full force. His arms burned from the effort. The blade didn't budge. Jonah's fingers dented the metal guards, knuckles whitening. Gasps rippled through the ranks. Enforcers shifted, claws twitching toward weapons.
"Impossible."
Vrok growled. He twisted the hilt, leveraging his superior mass. Jonah's grip tightened, a faint creak echoed from the blade's core. Vrok released and leaped back. His signal claw flashed up. "Rifles! Suppress the prisoner!" Guard snapped to action. 20 barrels leveled. Energy rifles whined to charge. Jonah lowered his hands slowly. Blood streamed from gashes across both palms, dripping onto the deck. He flexed his fingers. The wounds gaped, but he ignored them. Chains lay shattered at his feet, links twisted like foil. Captain Cade's mandibles clicked in fury. "Fire! All units fire!" Bolts lanced out. Blue plasma scorched the air. Impacts hammered Jonah's chest and shoulders. Fabric charred, skin blistered. The human staggered once, then straightened. Smoke curled from his tunic. He wiped blood from his palms onto his thighs, smearing crimson streaks. Vrok's vents heaved. No species endured direct hits like that. Not without armor, not without screaming. "Medic Savant Elixa," Kaded bellowed, "assess this abomination." "Explain it." Elixa pushed through the ranks, her multi-tool scanner whirring. She circled Jonah warily, probe extended.
"Deal again, human."
"Or we dissect you standing." Jonah met her gaze.
"Pest away."
His voice carried a flat Terran accent, calm as a drill sergeant's. Elixa jabbed the probe into his side. It pierced epidermis, drawing synth blood samples. Jonah didn't twitch. She ramped voltage, standard pain threshold for most sentients. Jonah exhaled slowly. Tickles. Elixa's eye stalks widened. She cranked to maximum. Arcs danced across his ribs. Human flesh sizzled. Jonah grunted once, then smiled faintly. Had worse from a hangover. Scans beeped.
Elixa yanked the probe free. Pain receptors saturated.
Density readings off the charts. Bone lattice reinforced. Naturally. Muscle fibers contract like null field cables. This isn't augmentation, it's baseline physiology. Vrok gripped his rifle tighter. Protocol screamed, "Eliminate the threat." But Jonah stood there, bloodied palms open, no charge attempted. Humble, waiting. Kade snarled. "Then cut deeper, Enforcer. Use your sidearm." Vrok hesitated. Jonah's eyes locked on his. Not defiant, assessing. Like a veteran sizing up recruits. "Captain?" Vrok said, voice low. "Permission to test restraints first."
"He's broken chains."
Standard holds failed. Cade's claws slashed air. "No delays. Protocol." A low rumble cut him off. Jonah shifted stance. "Shoot it." Vrok's trigger claw itched. Survival whispered, "Don't escalate." This human hadn't killed them yet. Restraint might yield intel. Elixa scanned again. Adrenaline analogs flooding.
He could fight all night. Troops murmured.
One enforcer lowered his rifle a fraction. Cade whirled on Vrak. You question orders? Execute or join him. Vrak stepped forward. He holstered his rifle, drew his combat knife instead, shorter, for control. Common flash, last chance. Jonah dropped to one knee. Call me Jonah. And you? Vrak tall. He lunged, knife thrusting for the throat. Jonah's hand blurred, caught the wrist. Twisted, Vrak's arm locked. Pain flared as joints hyperextended. He dropped the knife. Jonah held him pinned, strength casual like corralling a hatchling. Easy, Jonah said. I don't want your ship, just a talk. Vrak strained. No give. This human matched a siege drone's torque, barehanded. Elix's scanner pinged, endorphins spiking. He thrives on this.
Cady drew his own pistol. Release him. Jonah shoved Vrak back gently.
Vrak flew 3 meters, skidded, rolled to his feet. Pride stung worse than the arm. Troops raised rifles again. Jonah stood, hands visible. Your medic's right. We're tough. But we pick fights smart. Yours started this raid, we ended it. Truce. Cade fired.
Bolt grazed Jonah's shoulder. Flesh parted, cauterized.
Jonah clapped hand over it.
Kept standing.
Vrak surged between them. Captain, stand down. He's no symbol. He's a soldier. Cade froze. Mandibles quivered. Jonah nodded once. Respect goes both ways. Vrak faced his captain. Protocol warred with the evidence. This human bled, burned, broke steel, and chose words over war.
Medic, Vrak ordered. Stabilize him.
Full scan. Elixa approached cautiously. Jonah extended his mangled hands. She sprayed sealant foam. He winced. First real reaction. Cadet holstered his weapon.
Interrogate.
Then decide. Vrak exhaled. Lesson etched deep. Underestimate at peril. Restraint saved them all. But Jonah's gaze flicked to the hangar doors. Something watched from shadows. No worse. Troops lowered rifles. Tension eased into wary truce. Vrak chained Jonah properly this time. Reinforced links, quadlocks. Jonah complied without protest. As Elixa worked, Vrak leaned close. How? Your kind all like this? Jonah chuckled softly. Tough?
Sure, but we hate wasting it.
What's your excuse for glass jaws? Vrak's vents cycled hot. Truth stung. Cady retreated to command post, barking orders for containment fields. Troops dispersed, whispering of the unbreakable soft skin. Elixa finished patching. Recommend collaboration protocols. His resilience could bolster our lines. Vrak nodded, protocol bent.
Survival demanded it.
Jonah met his eyes. Smart call, Vrak. Now about that truce. A klaxon blared. Hangar doors buckled inward. Human Vrak slammed his boot into Jonah's shoulder. The impact reverberated up his leg. Reinforced carapace met yielding flesh, and the blade stayed lodged in the human's fists. Jonah grunted. His fingers clenched tighter around the execution edge. Blood slicked the serrated metal, but he yanked the weapon toward his own chest. The blade dragged Vrak forward a step. Restrain him, Vrak barked. 2 guards lunged from the flanks. Kresh and Tormak, both frontline veterans. 3 trained soldiers grabbed the human. Nothing changed. Jonah's arms didn't budge. Kresh heaved with full servo-assisted torque. Tormak twisted, mandibles grinding. Vrak planted his feet and pulled the hilt with both hands. The human stood rooted, his knees flexed slightly. A vein pulsed in his neck, but his grip held. Vrak's vents hissed steam. Protocol demanded a clean kill. This prisoner had disarmed 3 enforcers in seconds. Impossible. Humans were softskins. Fragile, heat-weak, legendarily breakable. Jonah's eyes locked on Vrak's. Calm. Assessing.
You first,
Kresh snarled.
filth.
Release or shatter. The human ignored him. He shifted weight. The blade inched closer to his sternum. Vrak felt the pull through his arms. This thing toyed with them. Captain Cade stormed forward from the observation dais. His rank plates gleamed under hangar lights. Sever the hands. Finish the execution. Now. Vrak hesitated. One twist of the blade would lop off those fingers. Protocol clear. Neutralize threats surgically. But Jonah's hands flexed, muscles corded like armored cables. No tremor. The guards strained. Kresh's claws scraped skin but found no give. Tormak's joints whined. Jonah's blood pattered on the deck, copious, arterial, yet he breathed steady. Captain? Vrak rasped. He's enduring.
Cade's optics narrowed.
He's a symbol. Break it.
He drew his sidearm, aimed at Jonah's knee.
Or I will. Jonah's gaze flicked to the pistol. He smiled faintly. Bad form. Shooting the bound man. Vrock's grip tightened. He raised the blade high. One chop. Hands off at the wrists. Clean. Final. But Jonah pulled harder. The edge kissed his chest plating. Wait. No plating.
Just skin. It parted.
Fresh blood welled. He didn't flinch. Vrock aborted the strike. It stuck in the deck. Mid-deck.
Elixa, assess this.
Ting. Cade's mandible snapped. Insolence. Execute or Captain. Vrock straightened. Observe. He nodded at Jonah's hands. Fingers wrapped the blade like vices. Bone showed white through shredded meat. Tendons dangled, yet the grip persisted. Elixa hustled from the med station. Her multi-limbs clicked with tools. She circled Jonah warily. Sprayed a diagnostic beam. Readings flashed on her wristpad. Impossible, she muttered. Her vents cycled cold air. Pain threshold exceeded by factors. Nerve clusters firing, but no withdrawal. Muscle density? Off charts. Jonah winced once as she probed. First crack in the facade.
Easy there, Doc.
Tickles. Kresh released the arm. Rubbed his claws, bruised.
He pulled me off balance. Me.
Tormak backed away, like gripping a stanchion beam. Cady holstered his weapon. Mandibles quivered. Stabilize for interrogation. But chain him, triple reinforced. Vrock exhaled. Lesson carved deep. Underestimate at peril. This human bled rivers, ignored agony, turned their weapon against them. Restraint saved faces today. Troops murmured. Rifles lowered fractionally. Jonah nodded once. Respect goes both ways. Snapped on quadlocks himself. Reinforced links hummed active. Jonah complied, extending mangled hands. Elixa worked fast.
Foam sealant hissed into wounds. She injected nanomend.
Viable. Recommend collaboration scan. Jonah chuckled. Tough? Sure. But we hate wasting it. What's your excuse for glass jaws? Vrock's vents heated. Truth stung. Their carapaces cracked under human fists earlier. Aliens excelled in plasma volleys, shield walls.
Humans? They endured the breach.
Contain the sector. Full sweeps. As Elixa packed her kit, Vrock leaned in.
How? All your kind like this?
Jonah met his eyes. Some more, some less. Point is, we adapt. Troops dispersed. Whispers spread, unbreakable soft skin. Vrock tested the chains. Solid. Jonah flexed experimentally. Links groaned but held. Good work, Jonah said. Smart call. Captain Cade barked from afar. Interrogate now. Decide later. Vrock nodded. Protocol bent. Survival demanded it. Jonah's gaze flicked to the hangar doors. Shadows stirred. A klaxon blared. Hangar doors buckled inward. Plasma fire erupted from the breach.
Human silhouettes charged through, armored, roaring.
Vrock yanked Jonah behind a crate.
Chains rattled. Yours?
Jonah grinned. Back up. Told you we adapt.
Cadet screamed orders!
Fire. Guards pivoted. Bolters thundered. But the humans rolled under fire. One took a chest hit. Armor sparked, kept coming. Punched through a shield drone like foil. Vrock unslung his rifle. Aimed past Jonah. You fight with us? Jonah strained against chains.
Cut me loose. Respect, remember.
Elixa ducked incoming rounds.
Captain. His scans. Pheromone markers match the attackers. Cade fired wildly.
Traitor. Vrock, shoot the prisoner. 3 humans breached the inner line.
One grabbed Tormak, hurled him into a bulkhead. Crunch. Vrock fired, dropped one assailant. But Jonah twisted free, quadlocks snapping like twine. Impossible. Jonah snatched a fallen blade. Not execution style. Combat grip. He slashed a human raider's rifle, then pivoted. Blocked Kade's shot with his forearm. Flesh charred. He didn't slow! Jonah, Vrock yelled. Truce. The human spun. Disarmed Kresh with a knee strike. Faced Vrock.
I'll handle mine.
Saw their own turn. Jonah bellowed. Voice carrying over din. Stand down, Rook's orders. 2 dropped weapons. The third lunged. Jonah sidestepped.
Slammed elbow into throat. Raider crumpled.
Silence fell. Smoke curled. Kade rose, clutching a burned arm. What?
Sorcery. Jonah wiped blood, his own, from his face. Leadership.
You underestimate that too. Vrak lowered rifle. Watched Elixa scan the downed raiders. All stable. His pheromones, command, cascade. Troops stared. Chains lay broken. Jonah stood unchained, hands bandaged but functional. Captain Kade holstered finally. Interrogate them all. Full protocols. Vrak stepped forward. Permission to assist, sir. Cade glared. Nodded curtly. Jonah extended a hand. Mangled but steady. Partners? Vrak clasped it. Human grip firm, no crush. Respect earned. Elixa chimed in. Recommend integration. Human endurance plugs our gaps. As Tech secured the raiders, Vrak scanned the hangar. Doors sealed, no more breaches. But Jonah's eyes lingered on the vents. Something watched still. Klaxon silenced. Tension eased to wary alliance. Vrak chained the raiders properly. Quad locks plus fields. Jonah supervised. Next time, Jonah said, skip the execution. Talk first. Vrak's mandibles clicked, in agreement. Captain Cade shoved past a Tech. Eyes locked on Jonah. No next time. Prisoner remains prisoner. Full execution protocol. Now. Troops froze. Jonah's gaze sharpened, but he nodded once.
Elixa scanner beeped. Captain, his palms, shredded tissue.
I must assess before restraint. Cade jabbed a claw toward the medbay alcove. Do it, Vrak. Secure him.
Vrak gripped Jonah's elbow.
Human skin warm, unyielding, no flinch. They marched to the alcove. Elixa activated the restraint post, a steel pole with quad locks and pressure clamps. Vrak chained his ankles first. Solid clicks echoed. Elixa knelt opposite, scanner humming over Jonah's left palm. Flesh hung in ragged strips, blood crusted. Bone visible in places. Pain levels off charts for your mass. Sedative? Jonah met her multifaceted eyes. No drugs. Consent only. Elixa's vents hissed surprise. Protocol demands it. You bleed out otherwise. Handle it raw. Jonah flexed fingers. Fresh blood welled. Vrak watched the scanner readout. Human vital steady. No shock markers. Elixa's claws twitched. Impossible. Your species thresholds. Cade barked from the doorway. Enough. Vrak. Clamp the wounded hand. Test compliance. Vrak hesitated. Jonah's eyes flicked to him. Calm. Expectant. Duty 1. He fitted the clamp over Jonah's left hand, aligning the pressure plates around shredded palm. Ratcheted it tight, flesh compressed. Blood squirted. Humans screamed at less. Jonah held eye contact. Mandibles locked. Vrak waited for release behavior. Cry, beg, spasm. Nothing. Jonah's free right hand moved. Casual. Fingers probed the post's latch. Click. Latch popped free. Ankle chains dangled loose. Vrak yanked his sidearm. Plasma pistol hummed to life. He lunged, planted himself between Jonah and the hangar exit. Down. Jonah dropped back to knees. Chains clinked harmlessly. Easy, Vrak. Keep the officer away. He panics. We all lose.
Shoot him! Treason! Elixa crushed Jonah's wounded palm in her grip.
Testing limits. Squeezed hard bones should grind. Jonah gasped once. Used the distraction. Right hand darted to the wrist lock. Picked it with a hidden shard from his sleeve.
Snap. Both hands free.
Vrak's trigger claw tensed. Jonah raised palms. Empty, dripping. Truce. Your medic's got data now. Use it. Elixa released. Scanner word frantic. Adrenaline surge, but no vascular collapse. Pain tolerance exceeds our shock troopers. By factors.
Cade drew his own pistol.
Irrelevant. Execute. Vrak stepped sideways, blocking Cade's line. Sir, stand down. He's contained. Out of my way. Cade shoved.
Vrak held ground.
Jonah rose slow, hands at sides. Troops murmured. Rifles shifted uneasily. Jonah spoke low. Vrak. Your call. Protocol or survival? Mandibles ground. Vrak knew procedure. One shot to the skull, plasma burned through. Clean. But this human broke quadlocks barehanded. Survived chain shredding without whimper. Elixa's scans confirmed. Denser muscle, redundant nerves. Execution might fail. Worse, anger him. Klaxons blared anew. Hangar vents rattled. Raiders inbound. Kade snarled. Perfect timing. Vrock, cuff him proper. Elixa, sedate by force if needed. Elixa hesitated. Captain, recommend delay.
His physiology. Silence.
Kade aimed at Jonah. Vrock fired first.
Not at Jonah. Plasma bolt scorched Kade's pistol hand.
Weapon clattered. Cade howled, clutching blistering scales. Troops gasped. Jonah didn't move.
Smart. Vrock holstered.
Captain's injured. Elixa, treat him. Jonah, with me. Grabbed a fallen rifle. Human-sized? No, alien stock, but he hefted it easy. Raiders? Vents. Vrock pointed. Shadows shifted inside. Elixa dragged Kade back. You're insane, Vrock. Vrock sealed the medbay door. Jonah smashed vent grate with elbow.
Dropped in first. Vrock followed.
Dark crawl space. Muffled shots. Raiders breaching main hangar. Jonah crawled faster. 3 tangos. Your troops pinned. Vrock's optics adjusted. Saw them. Crash pattern raiders, plasma lances glowing. Jonah kicked a panel. Dropped into raider flank. Chaos erupted. Jonah rolled, fired, burst. First raider spun, chest vaporized. Second lunged. Jonah sidestepped, drove rifle butt into jaw. Crack. Raider dropped. Third fired wild. Jonah took graze to shoulder.
Ignored it. Tackled, choked out cold.
Vrock dropped beside him.
How? Wounds. Normal Tuesday. He keyed comms.
Vrock decayed. Breach clear. Human assets secured raiders.
Static.
Then Cade's hiss. Alive? All stable. Silence. Elixa cut in. Pheromone cascade confirmed. His voice commands obedience. Recommend full integration. Kade growled. Denied. Extract him.
Quad locks, neural blockers.
Try it. Vrock covered the exit.
Sir, permission to test protocols first? Granted.
Back in hangar, Tex hauled raiders. Elixa rebounded Jonah's palms. Thicker wraps this time. Jonah tested grip. Pulled a crate effortless. Lifted double his mass. Troops stared. One whispered, Space Orc. Vrock clamped Jonah's hand again.
Tighter. Max pressure.
Watched for weakness. Jonah grinned through pain. Free hand undid latch. Elixa crushed the palm, full force. Jonah grunted. Picked wrist lock with pinky shard. Free. Cod watched from medcot, arm slung. Sorcery. Endurance. Jonah stood. Your medics classify it yet? Elixa's vents fluttered. Not yet. Redundancy everywhere. Nerves bypass damage. Muscles layer like armor weave. Vrock released clamp. Captain. He's not symbol.
He's weapon.
Hours now. Cade glared. Mandibles slashed air. One more test. Execution sim. Full power. Vrock loaded plasma rifle. Aimed center mass. Protocol. Non-lethal burst to torso. Human should crumple, fired. Bolt hit. Jonah staggered. Armor weave smoked. He straightened. Skin red. No breach. Coughed blood, then spat it. Stings. Troops dropped jaws. Elixa scanned. No organ rupture. Ribs cracked. Reforming already? Jonah cracked knuckles. Adrenaline. Bones knit fast under stress. Cade rose. Enough. Holstered sidearm. Integration approved. Provisional. Jonah extended hand. Mangled. Steady.
Vrock clasped. Human strength crushed mandibles?
No firm. Controlled. Respect. Elixa chimed. Gaps filled. Human plugs them. Tech secured raiders quad locks upgraded with human-proof fields. Jonah supervised. Pointed flaws. Here. Twist latch. Vrock nodded. Fixed it. Doors sealed. Vents quiet. But Jonah eyed shadows. More coming. Klaxon died. Alliance held. Wary. Kadi approached. Why help? Jonah shrugged. You underestimate leadership. Like toughness. Vrock's rifle stayed slung. Lesson sunk. Protocol bent. Human forced it. Elixa pulled Vrock aside. Scan Captain Cade's mandibles snapped. It's a drill. Containment protocols. Load live rounds. Fire into the crowd. Vrock's vent seized. Live rounds. Drills used sims. He gripped his plasma rifle tighter. Jonah Rook stood beside him in the hangar, arms crossed, eyeing the troops forming a loose circle. Tex froze mid-weld on the quad locks. Elixa's scanner hummed in her claws, unfinished words dying on her vents. Captain, Vrock started. Execute! Cade barked from the overlooked platform. His injured arm hung in a sling, but his good claw stabbed the lockdown trigger. Bulkhead doors slammed shut. Red strobes pulsed. Troop rifles whirred to life, power cells charging with lethal hums. Jonah didn't flinch.
He scanned the ceiling vents, calm as a coiled spring. Vrock's protocol instinct kicked.
Protect the asset. He lunged, shoving Jonah behind a towering cargo crate stamped with hazard runes.
Down.
Plasma bolts cracked the air. The first burst slammed Vrock's chest plate. Armor scorched, a blading heat and a hiss of vaporized laminate.
He grunted, holding position.
The plate buckled but held, standard enforcer gear, rated for bursts. Another volley chewed the crate's edge, splintering alloy foam.
Ceasefire!
Vrock roared, voice modulator blasting override codes. Nothing. Troops fired on, discipline barrels tracking shadows. Cade's orders overrode some safeties. This wasn't containment. This was purge. Jonah crouched low beside him, no panic in his eyes, just calculation. His mangled hand flexed, still raw from the clamp test, but steady. Your captain's testing more than locks. Vrock peeked over the crate. 6 troops advanced, rifles sweeping. Elixa bolted for cover behind a tool rack, scanner clutched like a shield. Kade watched from above, optics gleaming. No retreat signal. A bolt grazed Vrock's thigh guard. Pain lanced, servos whining. He drew his vibroblade, thumbing the activator. Stay put, human. Jonah moved. Fingers hooked the floor grate, bolted Durasteel 200 kilos easy. Metal screamed. He ripped it free in one yank, hinges popping like brittle bones. Exposed conduits sparked below. Jonah hefted the grate like a shield, eyes on the ceiling. What? Vrock's mandibles gaped. Cover me. Jonah angled the grate. A ricochet path. Incoming bolt struck the improvised panel at 45 degrees. Plasma caromed up, punching the overhead sprinkler array. Water exploded in a deluge. Hangar flooded instant fog, steam hissing from hot vents. Visibility zeroed, troops cursed, rifles dipping as auto-sensors glitched in the chaos. Vrock blinked residue from his optics. Jonah already rose, water sheeting off his fatigues. He tossed the grate aside, dented, glowing from the hit. Clear shot now? Vrock nodded, stunned. Human strength. Casual. No strain! He bellowed ceasefire codes again, amplifier piercing the roar. Kade, override Delta. 7. Asset integrity compromised. Troops hesitated. Steam cleared in patches. Elixa emerged, barking medic overrides. Kade's platform hummed, descending. His voice crackled. Stand down. Drill complete.
Vrock rounded on Jonah, blade still hummed in his grip.
Human physiology defied scans. Elixa's words echoed. Redundancy everywhere. Now this. One pull, and protocol's unbreakable grate became scrap. Jonah met his gaze. Reached out, fingers closed on the blade, by the flat plasma edge sizzling inches from flesh. No flinch. Skin reddened, blistered instant, but held. He twisted it handle first, pressed into Vrock's palm. Water dripped from his hair. Yours. Vrock sheathed it numbly, mandibles slack. Humans layered muscle like armor. Pain? They spatted. Cade dropped to hangar deck, sling arm stiff. Troops parted. Report enforcer. Vrock squared. Drill breached protocols. Live fire on provisional asset. Human neutralized threats without arms. Cade's optics narrowed on Jonah. Neutralized?
He hid. Jonah snorted.
Wiped blood-flecked water from his lip. Cracked rib from earlier test. Hid. Improvised. Your grates make poor shields otherwise. Elixa scuttled forward, scanner probing Jonah's hand. Blisters already paling. Thermal tolerance anomalous. Nerve clusters reroute around second-degree burns. Regen factor 300% baseline. Troops, muttered. Jaws unhinged. One whispered, pulled Durasteel. Bare hands. Cade's claws flexed. Symbol or not, Rook, you fight our way now. Or next drill isn't sim. Jonah straightened. Water pooled at his boots. Fight your way. Locks fail under torque. Sprinklers blind your optics. Teach me yours. I plug gaps. Barak watched the exchange. Protocol demanded execution sims for threats. Jonah survived too. Revealed more. Strength hummed casual, like breathing. Underestimate that, and enforcers died. Cade turned to Vrock. Escort him to integration bay. Full scans. No more improvisations. Brock nodded, clamped Jonah's shoulder. Gentle this time. Human tensed, then relaxed. Controlled power. Move. They strode past troops. Whispers followed. Elixa trailed, scanner beeping. Captain. Human baseline shifts under stress. Adrenaline knits bone, amplifies lift capacity. He calls it normal. Hangar doors hissed open. Lockdown lifted. Jonah glanced back at K-Day. More coming, like I said. Raiders won't stop at shadows. Cade's mandibles slashed air. No reply. Vrock led into the corridor. Boots echoed, wet. Why hand the blade back? Could have taken me. Jonah shrugged. You blocked for me first. Restraint earns respect. Vrack's vents cycled slow. Procedure bent today. Human forced it. Lesson etched. Aim true, or humans rip worlds apart. Calmly. Integration bay loomed. Elixa prepped neural clamps. Full test now. Limits. Jonah stripped to waist, scars mapping old wars. Sat without prompt. Hit me with your worst. Vrock stood guard, rifle slung loose. No more drills. Not without rethink.
Canner's word. Probes pricked.
Jonah breathed even. Readouts spiked. Tensile peaks shattering norms.
Elixia's vents fluttered.
Muscle redundancy 47 layers. Pain threshold absent. High, Jonah corrected. Keeps us fighting. Vrock crossed arms. Watched numbers climb. Humans didn't crumple. They adapted, collaborated, or crushed. Kade's calm buzzed in. Enforcer. Raider signatures inbound. Prep defenses. Rook integrates frontline. Vrock keyed affirm. Glanced at Jonah. You heard frontline. Jonah cracked knuckles. Bones popped. Solid. Good. Show me your rifles. I'll show you ricochet paths. Troops outside bay snapped to. No whispers now. Eyes wary. Respect forged in steam and steel. Alarms flickered, distant klaxon. More coming. Vrock unslung his rifle. Protocol evolved. Human proof. Jonah stood. Grabbed a spare vest. Strapped it tight. Let's plug those gaps. Vrock nodded. Mandibles firm. Lesson complete. Underestimate humans, pay in blood. Theirs or yours. Hangar feeds pinged. Raider pods inbound. Battle joined. Shock troopers burst through the hangar blast doors, lances crackling blue. Vrock yanked Jonah behind a cargo crate. Down, Captain Kade's voice barked over comms. Enforcer tall, stand down. The human's a liability, secure him for termination. Now. Raider pods streaked past viewports, slamming impacts shaking the deck. Alarms wailed. But Kade fixated on Jonah. Vrock's mandibles clenched. Protocol demanded obedience. Experience screamed otherwise.
No, Vrock slung his rifle.
Grabbed Jonah's arm. Captain Human fights with us. Proved it. Cade's tone iced. Troopers neutralized both. Boots thundered closer. Jonah crouched low, eyes scanning conduits overhead.
Vrock, haul him toward a maintenance hatch. Move.
Medbay. Elixa will vouch. Jonah nodded once. Silent. Ready. Troopers rounded the crate stack. Halt. Vrock fired a suppression burst. Sparks flew from their shields. Jonah shouldered the sealed hatch. Nettle groaned. His fingers dug into the frame, bent it outward with a screech. Seals popped. Air hissed. Go. Vrock shoved him through. They plunged into the dim corridor. Pipes throbbed. Steam vents hissed rhythmically. Jonah sealed the hatch behind. No time for locks. Footfalls echoed ahead and behind. Vrock keyed his comm.
Medic Savant Elixa, Prep Bay.
Kade's overriding. Elixa's response crackled. Understood. Scans ready. Hurry. Pursuit closed fast. Jonah sprinted ahead, bulk compact but relentless. Vrock matched pace, rifle ready. A stunlance bolt punched through the hatch, grazed Vrack's carapace. Numbness spidered his leg. They're through, a trooper yelled. Blue arcs lit the corridor. Jonah spun, took a lance dead to the chest. Crackle pop. His vest smoked. Muscles locked, then released.
He staggered one step.
Kept running. Vrock's vents stalled.
Humans tank stuns? Like breaths.
Another bolt. Jonah's shoulder. He growled low. Shook it off. Pushed faster. Troopers piled in.
Target resilient. Increase voltage. Vrock spun.
Dropped two with precise shots. Legs only, non-lethal. Stand down. He's asset. Cadet overrode. Lethal force authorized. No choice. Vrock slapped a breaching charge on the wall junction. Jonah. Clear. Human vaulted a pipe rack. Vrock primed it. Troopers fired wild. One clipped his arm. Pain flared. Ignored. Detonation roared. Ceiling buckled. Debris avalanched, sealing the corridor in rubble and dust. Shouts cut short. Silence fell. Vrock coughed spores. Clear? Jonah leaned on a bulkhead. Chest plate charred black. Steam rose from entry points. Yay. Tingles. Vrock stared. Stun lances dropped Kresh battle beasts. Jonah brushed ash off. Lead on. They pushed through service tunnels. Raider booms rattled walls distant. Jonah's breaths even. No limp, no wince. Scars on his torso gleamed under flickering strips. Old plasma burns. Shrapnel pits.
He moved like none touched him.
Why tank it? Vrock rasped. Mandibles worked air. Jonah glanced back. Adrenaline. Pain's there.
Ignore it. Keep mission.
Humans layered muscle like armor plating. Elix's scans confirmed. Redundancy beyond scans. Vrock's species, layered chitin. Brittle under sustained fire. Humans, regenerated mid-fight. Medbay doors hissed open. Elix awaited. Probes arrayed. Here, strip vest. Jonah peeled it off. Red welts bloomed across pectorals. No blood. Elix's manipulators danced. Scanner wand hovered. Voltage residue, 800 kilovolts. Neural shutdown in any other species. Human standard, Jonah said. Sat on the slab. Patched the vest. We'll need it.
Cadet's voice flooded speakers. All units, Enforcer Tall and Human Trader in Medbay.
Breach and terminate. Elix's vents fluttered. Captain, data incoming. Human physiology. Silence softened. Protocol.
Barred the door. Elixa transmits scans fleet-wide.
Proof. She nodded. Uploaded. Readouts beamed. Muscle density 300% norm. Pain gates overridden by endorphin floods. Bones reinforced. Tensile steel. Jonah cracked neck. Stood. Raiders hitting hangar. We plug it? Vrock hesitated. Orders chained him. Jonah's gaze met his. Calm. Expectant. No rage. Just readiness. Troopers hammered doors. Sparks flew from hinges. Vrock keyed override. Doors groaned inward. Shock troopers leveled lances. Drop it. Their leader snarled. Jonah stepped forward. Empty hands. Fight raiders. Not us.
Leader fired. Lance to gut.
Jonah grunted. Absorbed. Grabbed the trooper's lance mid-charge. Twisted. Metal crumpled in his fist. Gasps rippled ranks. Vrock raised rifle.
Data proves it. Integrate or lose.
Kade's comment pierced. Hold! Troopers froze. Jonah dropped the mangled lance. Clanged loud. Captain appeared on bay feed. Mandibles tight. Elixa patched through scans.
Captain, human withstands what kills us.
Raider pods inbound. 12 confirmed. Frontline asset. Silence. Stretched. Raider blasts shook bulkheads closer. Kaday's vents hissed. Tal. You vouch? Vrock gripped rifle firm. With life. Provisional integration. Report hangar. No chains. Feed cut. Troopers lowered lances. Eyes wide on Jonah.
He nodded.
Strapped charred vest. Rifles. Vrock tossed a spare. Jonah caught. Checked action smooth. They charged out.
Elixa trailed. Testing limits live.
Fascinating. Hangar loomed. Raider pods cracked hulls. Breach teams poured in. Claws and plasma.
Jonah beside.
Fired first burst. Ricochets cleared clusters. Like that, troopers joined.
Hesitant. Watched human tank shrapnel graze.
Press on. One. Raider lunged. Jonah grappled barehanded. Snapped neck. Casual. Vrock. Covered. Flank left. Human spun. Cleared path. Collaboration clicked. Kate arrived. Watched from ramp. No words. Just nod. Human in makeshifted tide. Final pod breached. Jonah charged. Took plasma singe to arm. Kept grip. Crushed pilot's helm. Deck cleared. Silence. Troopers stared. Whispers died. Respect settled. Kade approached it. Rook. Debrief. Jonah wiped blood. His own. Minimal. Raiders gone. Next. Captain's gaze lingered on welts. Front line. Vrock slung rifle. Mandibles eased. Protocol bent. Human forced it. Lesson etched. Underestimate, pay. Worlds rip apart. Calmly. Hangar feeds pinged anew. More signatures inbound. Battle joined. Vrock shoved through the medbay hatch, rifle slung but claws flexed.
Jonah sat on the exam slab, shirt off, Elix's scanner humming over his plasma-scarred arm.
The human looked up, calm as deck plating. Tall. Jonah's voice stayed even. Battle's done. Raiders routed. You tanked 3 hits. Now talk. Vrock loomed close, mandibles clicking. Kade ordered you restrained pre-integration. No chains now, but why the flag? What are you hiding? Jonah's eyes flicked to Elisa. She paused her scan, antennae twitching. The human reached under his collarbone, skin parting like soft sealant. No blood. He pried out a glittering shard. Thumb-sized pulsing faint blue. Vrock's vents hissed. Weapon? Transmitter. Jonah held it flat on his palm, planted by your Captain Cade. Broadcasting fake signals. Raider pods? His bait. False flag to spark war with the fringe clans. Pull the plug, or billions die. Elixa snatched the shard. Her manipulator probes extended, linking in. Lights danced across her visor. Origin code. Cade's personal encrypt. He's spoofing command off to mimic clan raids. Escalation protocol triggered sector-wide. Vrock's grip tightened on his rifle strap. Protocol screamed, execute the threat. But Jonah's gaze held steady. No plea, just fact. The human had fought beside them, crushed raiders barehanded, saved flanks. Proof? Shard logs everything. Jonah tapped his temple. I intercepted the first pulse in custody. Played dumb. Needed internals to confirm. Elixa nodded, her chassis whirring. Human subdermal tolerance. Off-charts, embedded weeks without rejection. Cade's orders bypassed fleet relay. Manipulation confirmed. Tagged to Central Command. Vrock's mind raced. Kade demanded results. Bent rules for the human asset. Now this? Treason. He slapped his wrist calm. Unit-wide channel open. All hands. Enforcer Tal. Trooper chatter flooded in. Post-battle chatter from hangar, engine bays, bridges. Captain Cade. Vrock broadcast. Voice steal. Report to medbay. Prisoner Rook carries your transmitter. False flag confirmed. Silence slammed the line. Then Cade's rasp. Tal, you overstep. Human lies. Execute protocol.
Negative.
Vrock eyed Jonah, who strapped his vest calm. Elixa pocketed the shard. Elixa verifies. Logs en route to command. Your war ends. Bulkheads groaned. Medbay doors hissed. Sealed. Alarms blared. Oxygen purge. Vents wheezed, pulling air. Cade's voice laughed through speakers. Compliance or suffocation. Human first. Prove loyalty.
Air thinned. Vrock skills labored.
He lunged to the panel, claws prying.
Locked solid. Jonah stood, testing the seal with a shoulder check, metal buckled slight. Elixa's probe sparked futile at overrides. Captain! Vrock roared into comm. Murder charges now. Open doors. Finish it, Tall, or join the corpse. Pressure built in Vrock's chest. Vision blurred. Jonah moved first. Grabbed a med cart, hurled it at the door vents. Grates crumpled. He wedged claws. No, fingers. Into the gap, heaved. Servos whined. Air rushed back faint. Vrock covered him. Rifle trained on nothing. Human strength, how? Pain's just data. Jonah grunted, ripping panel free. Emergency O2 hissed in. Elixa patched the shard to external burst, logs beaming. Doors buckled outward. Troopers piled in from hall breach. Lances hot.
Kade strode behind, pistol drawn on Jonah.
Mutiny.
Cod leveled the barrel. Tal, step aside.
Vrock raised his rifle.
Unit eyes locked. Hesitant, but barrels shifted to Cade. Whispers rippled. Transmitter real? Raiders his? Jonah straightened, blood trickling from knuckles. No flinch. Logs hit command. War's off. Surrender. Plasma grazed Jonah's ribs. Vest charred. Human charged. Tackled the captain mid-reload. Pinned him deck hard. Kade thrashed, claws raking. Jonah absorbed. Locked joints. Snap. Captain howled. Arm limp. Trooper swarmed. Cuffs clicked. On Cade.
Elixa scanned him cold. Sedative.
Fleet arrest incoming. Vrock lowered rifle, mandibles slack. Jonah rose, offering a hand. Vrock took it. Human grip iron, steady. No triumph. Just done. Restraint? Jonah dusted hands. Never needed it. Alarms cleared. Feeds pinged. Central command affirm. False flag scrubbed. Clan stood down. But hangar sensors lit again. Real signatures this time. Fleet reinforcements. Or hunters for Cade? Vrock gripped his rifle. Jonah beside, spare in hand. Respect, locked. Underestimate humans, worlds burned. Elixa chimed. Human physiology report baseline exceeds our elites. Recommend full integration. Troopers nodded. Jonah checked action smooth. Next wave, Vrock led charge. Human at flank. Protocol rewritten. Survival demanded it. Deck shuddered. New pods inbound, not fakes. Claws scraped hulls beyond. Vrock took point. Jonah mirrored. Plasma lit corridors. One border lunged. Vrock blasted core. Jonah grappled twin. Neck crack casual. Flank! They pressed. Elixa patched vitals live. Jonah's heart steady under fire. Troopers synced. Lances precise where human brute forced gaps. Cade's brig feed cut. Silence. Command en route. Final breach. Jonah tanked shrapnel volley. Cleared nest. Raiders routed true. Silence settled. Whispers. He stopped the war. Took the captain down bare. Vrock slung rifle. Jonah wiped blood. Minimal. Debrief? Frontline permanent.
Vrock's mandibles eased full.
Lesson carved deep. Humans humble till pushed. Then unbreakable. Sensors pinged faint. Ghost signal? Cade's backup? Battle never ends. Air thinned to a rasp. Jonah snatched a sterile veil from the medkit, knotted it tight over his mouth. His hands gripped the manual crank beneath the primary O2 valve. Muscles bunched. Crank spun, slow at first, then steady. Pressure gauges twitched upward. Vrock choked on the fumes. His squad wheezed behind him, lances dim in the haze. Cade's sabotage. Traitor captain sealed the control nook, venting the ship. Protocol screamed, secure the bridge first. But Jonah, prisoner, fixed what their suits couldn't. Human lungs gulped the thin soup like it fueled him. Flank left, Vrock barked. Mandibles clamped. He slammed the breaching charge. Door buckled, shrapnel pinged off his armor. Inside, Cade hunched at the console, blade drawn, eyes feral. Vrock lunged. Lance too bulky for the nook, switched to vibro knife. Cade parried. Clash sparked. Captain twisted faster than regs allowed. Knife grazed Vrock's pauldron. Pain flared. Vrock countered blade high. Cade dodged, slashed low. They danced in the red glow. Consoles sparked. Air clawed Vrock's gills, 10% O2. Vision blurred. Cade pressed. Mutineer. Captain snarled. Human taint spreads. Vrock blocked. Wrist burned. Cade's knife whipped up, aimed for the throat gap. Vrock twisted. Too slow. Jonah exploded through the breach. Bare hands caught the strike mid-arc. Fingers clamped Cade's blade arm like a vice. Metal halted inches from Vrock's neck. Human's eyes locked calm over the mask. No strain. Just grip. Cade yanked. Blade held fast. Impossible, he hissed. Reversed with his free hand. Second knife flashed from boot sheath. Straight for Jonah's ribs. Jonah's other hand snapped out. Caught that blade too. Bare palm wrapped the edge. Blood welled. Ignored.
He twisted. Cade staggered.
Jonah pivoted, slammed the captain's pinned wrist to the console. Sparks flew. Lock engaged. Cade's arms locked wide, blades useless. Vrock staggered back. Chest heaved. Human held the captain solo. No rifle, no armor. Thinning air? Jonah breathed even. Stand down. Vrock rasped. Squad piled in, Illica last, scanner whirring. He yanked cuffs from belt. Snapped them on Cade's elbows. Captain trashed. Useless. Traitor, Cade spat. You'll burn for this. Vrock ripped the evidence shard from the console. False flags. All logged. He slotted it into his comms gauntlet. Transmit burst to Fleet Command. Enforcer Vrock.
Captain Cade had confirmed rogue. Evidence secured.
Request brig escort. Affirm pinged instant. Fleet inbound. Jonah released the blades. They clattered free. He peeled off the mask, wiped blood from his palm on his jumpsuit. Offered wrists forward. Cuffs optional. But we pulled both crews out clean. No executions. No reprisals. Vrock hesitated. Protocol, restrain the asset. Saved him. Squad eyes flicked. Respect carved in.
Elixir scanned Jonah's hand.
Wound, negligible. Pain threshold off charts. Recommend, integration, a trooper muttered. Vrock cuffed loose. Done. He keyed ship wide. All hands, vents sealed. Air normalizing. Captain detained. Stand down. Cade laughed bitter. Fools. Ghost signals live. My hunters come. Alarms flickered. Not clear. Hangar pinged. Inbound signatures. Real claws this time. Brock gripped his rifle. Jonah scooped the spare from the deck. Racked around smooth. Lead. Deck shuttered. Pods latched hullside. Rakes echoed. Raiders inbound. Vrock took point. Jonah flanked right. Elixir patched squad vitals. Troopers synced lances. Human brute filled the gaps. Plasma bolt scorched bulkhead. Vrock fired Raider core burst.
Jonah charged twin, grappled mid-leap. Neck snapped casual.
Clear. They pressed corridors. Jonah tanked shrapnel. Shook it off. Heart steady on Elixir's feed. Troopers picked flanks precise. Human forced doors where lances jammed. Cade's brig feed cut. Silence. Final nest. Jonah kicked in. Raiders wheeled. Volley lit. Fists pulped. Helmets. Last raider fled. Routed. Silence dropped. Whispers rippled squadnet. Caught the blades bare. Stopped the war solo. Vrock slung rifle. Jonah wiped minimal blood.
Debrief? Frontline permanent, Vrock said. Mandibles eased.
Lesson etched. Humans humble till cornered, then steel. Sensors pinged faint. Ghost signal pulsed stronger. Cade's backup, or worse. Elixir chimed. Human baseline exceeds elites. Troopers nodded. Jonah checked action. Wave 2. Brock led charge anew. Jonah mirrored. Protocol bent.
Survival rewrote it, Hull groaned.
New scrapes. Deeper. Breach. Imminent. Vrock sighted down sights. Jonah cracked knuckles.
Air tasted thicker now. Human work.
Raiders poured main hatch. Vrock blasted lead. Jonah vaulted barricade, dragged second into crush. Squad lances sang. Plasma carved paths. Human fists breached armor seams. Their beams skipped. One raider flanked Elixir. Took claw rake across back. Ripped the arm free. Tossed it aside. Medic patched him live. Adrenaline nominal. Proceed. Cade's voice crackled open comms. From where?
You delay the inevitable.
Vrock muted it. Nest ahead. They stacked. Jonah breached. Door vaporized under his shoulder. Inside. Raider heavies cannons charging. Troopers laid suppressing fire. Precise bursts. Jonah bull rushed, flipped cannon barrel skyward. Overload popped. Healer scanned. Human density. Our plates envy it. Raiders broke. Last one lunged. Rack. Jonah clotheslined midair. Yield. It clicked mandibles. Surrender. Fleet signatures brightened scopes. Reinforcements true. Deck cleared. Elixir tallied. 0 squad losses. Superficial. Vrock faced him. Why fix the valves, prisoner? Jonah shrugged. Air's air. Both crews breathed. Trooper grunted approval. Orc blood. Captain's cell cam reactivated. Cade sneered through bars. Ghost fleet warps in. My contingency. A sensor. A screamed. Massive signatures. Dozens. Not fleet. Vrock raised rifle. Jonah loaded fresh mag. Together? Protocol, Brock said. But eyes, said partner. Pods slammed closer. Battle reignited. Elixir broadcasts. FISO report to command. Humans redefine tough. Whispers spread shipwide. Respect locked. Ghost armada loomed. Jonah grinned faint.
Let's humble 'em.
Vrock charged. Human unbreakable at side. Worlds wouldn't burn today. Hull breached wide. Raiders swarmed decks below. Alarms wailed cascade failure. Vrock dropped, ladder, boots, hit deck plate running. Jonah landed light beside, absorbed impact, no grunt.
Squad rappel tight. Form wedge, Vrock ordered.
Lances forward, Jonah apex, fists ready. Raiders met them head on. Plasma storm. Vrock sidestepped, fired point blank. Core melt. Jonah plowed center 3 shoulders, cracked armor like foil. One stabbed deep, human yanked blade, reversed into its kin. Elixir called vitals, pain negligible. Proceed, they carved engine bay. Heavies nested there, cannons zeroed. Troopers flanked wide, beams sliced legs. Jonah tanked front blast, closed. Punched through faceplate. Cannon silenced. Cade's signal jammed comms.
Surrender to me.